What's up guys, Scalik here. Today I'm going to expand on my two previous videos of how to do custom orcas and how to do custom tokens. I've refined my strategy into something that I can teach. If you guys are wanting to get any of the things I'm mentioning, links will be down in the description, as well as links to my borders that I've custom sized inside of Photoshop that you guys can put any kind of card art in and it will perfectly fit your Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Alright, so first let's start off with a list of things you need. So first off, you're going to need some white primer acrylic, a small detailed paintbrush, 100% acetone. You do not want the acetone that has the vitamin E or the penanthilinol. You want just regular 100%, put it in a plastic cup, burns right through it, acetone. That is the best stuff that's going to work. Make sure you do this in somewhere that's well ventilated. You got fans, you got windows open. Next, you're going to need toothpicks. Get the all-purpose, extra durable, and versatile crystal clear Loctite Go-To glue. Next, you're going to need some sheets to print your cards out on. This can be done on any inkjet printer. Just make sure that your color cartridge and your black cartridges are full. Otherwise, you won't get some good quality prints. I use koala paper. 8.5 by 11s, comes in a sheet of 20. You can fit 8 custom cards on one sheet of paper. You can get this for, I think, $11 or $12. This stuff's pretty nice. Now, you do have to pay attention because you can only print on one side. So if you hold this stuff up to the light, you'll see there's a glossy side and a matte side with a few little pores. You want to make sure you find the pore side and print on that side. And I'll explain how to do that here in a minute. And then the last thing you're going to need is a tabletop and an X-Acto knife. Using the X-Acto knife along with the ruler I find works best. To go along with the paint, you're also going to need some 91% isopropyl alcohol and a tiny disposable. Now for me, when I start painting the backs of these, I like to get a fresh sheet of paper on just because I don't want to scar up or get anything that's like on the table on the card faces. They don't look that good if that happens. Now, for some card arts, like if we look at Sekka's Light, the ratio we're going for here is a 1 part to 6 part ratio. So I put in 0.3 ounces of the paint and then 0.025 ounces of the rubbing alcohol. And then you would just take those and you stir them together. Light, you can see that Sekka, while she's dancing, she is non-transparent. She's not sparkly, she's fully colored in there, and her background is all the parallel secret rare. This is really cool because it gives the card a little bit of a 3D look, and it gives it more depth. And I think it's really a lot more attractive than just having the whole thing. Alright, so for me, what I would want to do is I'm actually going to paint in all of the card around it, and I'm going to paint in his body. And then I know some of you may be asking, well, how about the letters? Like, how am I going to do those? Well, what you can actually do is paint over these completely, and then once the paint dries, you can come back around with a toothpick and then scratch out the shape of the letter. Cool, so now that the border's done, we just gotta start on little Andal here. Whew, cool, all right. And that took a full 10 minutes to paint. Now we just gotta do the rest. So now that these are all painted in, we can let them dry for a few minutes and move on to the second portion of our customization, and that is the blanks. I know a lot of you are curious how to get blanks, what to use for blanks. I'll show you what I use. You can use any secret, any rarity you want. For these, I like using the parallel secrets just because they look the prettiest. While we let the paint dry, let's make some brownies to pass the time. Did you look up How To Basic?
I'm on it. Chill the fuck out. You're not doing that!
I didn't preheat the oven! Alright everyone, for this next part, this is where the 100% acetone nail polish remover comes in, alongside of the cotton oval pads. I really like the oval pads in lieu of the cotton balls, because the oval pads don't, like, flake off as much as the cotton balls do. So right now, the cheapest secret rare that you can get is one from Shadows of Valhalla, Old Entity Chatuga. So I've actually got this on a piece of paper because one thing that you do not want to happen is you don't want it to be absorbed through the sides of the cardboard. So the way that Yu-Gi-Oh cards are made is it's the layer of ink, the layer of plastic foil, and then the layer of paper cardboard on the back. So there's actually about 3 layers in here. And we really only want to take off the very top layer, which is just the ink. And you can pour, stuff on the top of the card and it's not going to absorb it because it's got that layer on there. But if it leaks into the sides, it's going to absorb the sides and screw the sides up, and then your custom cards won't look that good. So I put it on this piece of paper because the paper instantly absorbs any extra moisture, and this stuff evaporates pretty quickly. So it's easier to control when it's on the paper. I found that one of the best ways to do it is just start in the center of the card, go in a circle, because 9 times out of 10 the center art is the hardest to take off. So I like to start there, give the acetone a second to set in. And then as you'll see, it's going to start coming off. There we go. You should be able to clean off a card in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how stubborn the ink is. And then when you get to the sides, what you want to do is just do a swiping motion out. You don't want to go out and back like this. You want to go out so that you get all the ink off, you get the liquid off. Because if you go back, you're going to screw up the edges. Alright, so now that we got these all cleaned off, we can set them aside and go grab our arts and get ready for the meticulous act of correcting our mistakes. Woo! Alright, so this is so easy. All that we're doing is we're just looking at the art. We're seeing where we went, over the art, over the lines, and then we are literally just, scratching it off. And, that's it. That is all that there is to it. I'm not even going to explain it anymore because it's so easy. But a trick I will say that if you have a piece of glass or something clear, it definitely works best if you put a light under it so that you can see exactly where the card art is and where you painted to see what you want to remove. So that's one pro tip for you. Alright, so for this next step, you are going to want 4 things. 1, a toothpick. 2, cotton pad or something to wipe your hands off on if you get super glue on your fingers. 3, your super glue. And then 4, the foil that you're putting on it. So first, you want to get your foil ready. Now all of the glue, except for the next parts I'm going to show you, is going to go onto the foil. because you want to see how close to the edge you're putting it. And just kind of let the super glue just kind of like string behind the dots. Alright, so this card is complete. Now, what you want to do is you want to take your toothpick and you want to slightly just spread and make sure you're getting this. You want to get it all throughout the card text box and just spread it out a little bit so it's got a nice little coverage area. Now you want to try and keep this off the clear part of the art as much as possible. But you also want it to be really close to the edge to get a good seal on the card. Now, the only other place you're going to put glue would be right where the card art is. That's going to be right here in the middle. Now, you do not need much because this stuff is going to get squished paper thin. So even though it doesn't look like much, it's going to spread around and it's going to spread a lot. Alright, so make sure we don't have any glue on our fingers, because that would be really nasty to get a nice greasy, gluey fingerprint on the front art. So what you're going to do, you're going to pick this guy up, you're going to pick this up, you're going to get a fresh piece of paper, because you don't want any glue. You're going to lay this guy face down. You're going to get a flashlight, and you don't need a flashlight, but this is a really nice, easy way to do it. You want to get your flashlight going. Okay, so now that we've got our little light board all set up here, take your foil with the glue on it, and you're going to line up the edges. Mainly focus on the little Yugioh mark. The little Millennium Eyes mark right down here in the corner. If you can line that up perfectly, odds are the rest of your card is lined up just as well. So we're going to take this on here. We're going to line it up. Going to make sure that these spaces are all even on all sides. And then the next thing you want to do is take a clean, non-touched cotton pad, and you just want to just press and squeeze. Flip it over, you don't want any glue. Press and squeeze. Flip it over, no glue. Press and squeeze all the way up. And then come and make sure you're holding it all the way down. And then flip again, all the way down. This makes sure that there's no air bubbles in the card, that everything is pressed on there nice. And if you need to readjust it a little bit, make sure you clean off your fingers. Get on here. Slide a little bit, you can adjust, move it around however you want, as long as it looks good. Fantastic. So, now we just have to let this dry, and then I'll show you guys how to cut off the rest of this excess plastic. Okay, gang, we are at the last and final step, cutting out the excess plastic from your cards. Let's see how this turned out. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, yep, awesome. I'm really excited for these. These are gonna look really good. All right, so let's get down to cutting. So, after you've done this a few times, for me, I can do it now to where I cut it down and I score along the edge, and then I do that about probably 2-3 times, and then I go for a final cut, just because then that way my knife has a groove to be guided in, and the guide is literally like the edge of the card. If you guys want to do that, you can. Otherwise, get a rubber bottomed ruler and match it up as close as you can with the card edge. And then just go down the line. Just go down the line. All right, so let's cut these off, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, guys, so this is the finished product. As you can see, the secret looks really nice. You can't see it through Ondal's actual body, which looks really cool. Gives him some extra depth. And just slapping these in some sleeves. They are a little bit thicker than regular Yugioh cards, but all in all, you're using them for just Oricas and local play, and they look pretty sweet. Expect to see them in a deck profile soon. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, hey, wait. Check out my Twitch channel. It's got some pretty good stuff on it. Alright, bye.